going on, Jerome's? So I know that the Sunday news dump is a little bit late, but last night catching up with some family and friends, recharging the old social batteries. Now everyone go away. It's usually how it is. But also announcements. So we're coming up on April. That is indeed draft month. So some we like to do around these times is put together a fundraiser, something that's near and dear to our heart. And I haven't really talked about it, but I mean it's pretty obvious that I am adopted, since I have like the whitest white person name ever and this face. And I don't know, it's something that as I've gotten older, like, yeah, as a kid, just never really thought about it. I'm just like, oh, I'm here, but as I've gotten older, just appreciating the entire process. And, there are lots of, kids in this world, whether in this country or other countries that, deserve loving homes. And adoption, it does work things out, because I feel like I've had a pretty good life. You know what I mean? And I want other people to have that too. So all Venmos, Cash Apps, Super Chats on live streams donated to the show this month up through the draft. Well, through the end of April, we'll go to Twin Cities and Seoul adoption charities and support organizations. And I know that's specifically like South Korean adoption has been in the news as of late. I honestly don't know if I was just like kidnapped and brought here. I don't know. Either way, I'm here. Actually, I have this weird sort of perverse fantasy that I'm Kim Jong-un's long lost brother, except that would have a whole bunch of issues. 'Cause I feel like I could be a benevolent dictator, like the CIA pulls a coup, installs me. I'm here, baby. That's right. We are the official country of the Minnesota Vikings. Now we need to get electricity here. Anyways, but back on task. So obviously something that's very near and dear to my heart, something that I want to support. Goal for the month, 25 hundo. And yeah, the Jeromes are more than generous. You guys are going to crush it, I'm sure. And then we'll have to ratchet this up and up and up. But that's what we're doing for draft month. And thank you in advance. Also, speaking of thank you, speaking of making a couple of ducats, the Minnesota Vikings have the worst, but really best Super Bowl odds for the NFC North division. Lions at 10-1, whatever. The Packers somehow at 22-1, Bears 35-1, Vikings 37-1. I'm surprised that the Bears are that long. I was told that the Bears won March for the second year in a row and should and could be Super Bowl favorites. Frankly, they should be minus 500 to win the Super Bowl. The Lions and the Bears should be minus 500 and minus 5,000. Minus 500 and minus 50,000 respectively to win the Super Bowl. That's what I've been told. Right? How they're both going to win it, even though they're both NFC teams. That's what's up. But either way, it's okay. That's what's kind of nice. The disrespect on the betting lines, because mainly it's not what the bookmakers forecast is going to happen. It's how people perceive it. Right. It's what's great about, the line or a total or whatever. It really is. It's like the stock market. It really is an amalgamation of what people think about things. Right. So, I mean, the Vikings are disrespected by the national media. Average Joe 12-pack out there disrespects the Vikings. They're going to put their money elsewhere. That influences the odds. I've always thought that the Vikings being the Vikings, just being hated on, disrespected, is worth half a point. So, like if the true blue odds of a game are Vikings, Vikings -3, just because it's the Vikings, like they'll get an extra point. They'll get the hook. Kind of like it there. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, put a couple jelly beans on that. Not saying, I'm just saying. Also, speaking of winning Super Bowl, so this is from CBS Sports. Youngest starting quarterbacks to win the Super Bowl, Roethlisberger, back in the day, which he played the worst game for a starting quarterback to win a Super Bowl ever, by the way. And yeah, I'm not someone who thinks that the league is rigged, but if you go back and watch that Super Bowl, you remember Jerome Bettis in Detroit, Detroit native, that was the main storyline. But the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Seahawks, that was the most one-sided, lopsided officiated game ever. Like Seahawks fans, and this was even before the 12s, so like the 11s had to think that they got screwed. Anyways, but Roethlisberger played like ass, thank you, but still won. Mahomes, Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. Russell Wilson and Joe Willie Namath, I guarantee it. And I'm not saying, I'm just saying, but Jonathan James McCarthy will be 23 years, 0 months, and 19 days old on Sunday, February 8th, 2026. Just throwing that out there. Not saying, I'm just saying. So I just can't wait, because you know the way that Kevin O'Connell has a way with post-game speeches. I just want to hear that post-game speech up on that podium, and then in that locker room. It's going to be an all-timer, man. It's going to be Churchillian-esque. It's going to be good. Also good, Isaiah Rodgers, a senior, coming in from the Eagles. A bit of a gamble for the Vikings, but I think that he's definitely on the upswing. Eagles fans are pissed that they lost him. I think that he has a chance to develop into a really solid corner for the Vikes. He put this out there next Saturday, April 5th. Tickets in his bio. Who will get these items? So I think he's doing an event with Fan HQ. Respect that. And here's the great too. Like, Rodgers has gone fully all in on being a Viking. Like, I want to know who wanted to be a Viking more, Isaiah Rodgers or Aaron Rodgers, because he's already got the Avi updated. I don't think this is Gilby or Geebly. People got mad about that, but one of the comments was, "Well, what if someone copied your podcast word for word?" I do not care, and also this is not art. What I do is not art. What Gilby does is art, but nah. Anyways, but also, let just lean in as like, hey, I'm number 2. Just completely slamming the door on bringing back Gilly, but that's fine. And also, Rodgers, go Vikings, Skull, #Skull. He's in. He's locked in. I love it, man. Also, those Winter Warrior jerseys, still great. And the helmets. Also, I know that they probably won't do it, but like the purple horns with the flat mat, looks good, man. Also looking good in purple. Jonathan Allen coming in. Let go by the commies, his team for his illustrious NFL career, but it's okay. Things change. Things move on, and he certainly did. Brandon, former Commanders defensive end Jonathan Allen, on why he left for the Vikings. New regime came in. They had a path they wanted to follow, and I wasn't a part of that path. So, I got to give them a lot of credit for doing me a favor by releasing me. And the commies with Dan Quinn coming in, changing things on defense. Allen played extremely well last year, even with the torn pec, came in and just wrecked things in the playoffs, especially that Lions game. But Allen, even though long-time respected player, they were able to save a bunch of cap space, and you'll notice this too. Like, before free agency starts, teams will cut veterans, giving them a head start on landing somewhere else. Because if you're a cut player coming off a cut contract, not an expiring contract, you can sign anywhere right away. You don't have to wait until the start of the new league year or start of legal tampering. So the commies did do Allen a solid in the spot. Found a great situation here with the Vikings, and his role is going to be good. Playing some 4-tech, 5-tech, 3-tech, all along the defensive line, and he's a monster. Plus, he's a motivated dude as is, but now he does have that chip on his shoulder, because remember, this is the first time that he's ever been cut. He was drafted by the commies, and he was extended, got that big-time contract. So this is the first time he's ever been told, we don't want you on our football team. So, that's got to get the juices going. It's going to be good. Yeah, you like the juice, huh? Something I did not like. So, random Vikings. Follow the count. It's real fun. Now, initially when I just scrolled past this in the morning, I thought, oh, Dakota Dozier died? No. But, yeah, Dakota Dozier's time with the Vikings was just not good. So, the main problem we had during the Zimmer regime, whoever the hell the coordinator was, or, remember when Rick Dennison was like the O-line coach? The problem was sticking with a player that you knew was underperforming just because you're stubborn. And offensive line needs chemistry, yes, and also you want to give the players the benefit of the doubt to be able to work through some initial trouble. You just don't want to yank them, have a revolving door, but there's a limit on that. And if you know that a player simply is not performing, you can't be afraid to make a change, and they just never did. With the guys like Dakota Dozier, guys like Elflein, guys like Samia, sure, just obviously Bradbury too, but Ed Ingram recently. But I mean, Dozier was not good. So Dozier in 1.5 seasons as a starter, 64 pressures, 8 sacks, and only 815 pass blocking reps, which is not good. Oh, also, not sponsored, but Icebreakers duo, like the watermelon and the mint. Whew, come on, man. And here's what's fantastic. And in a weird way, you have to respect Kirk Cousins. So in 2020, Dakota Dozier was the lowest graded PFF pass blocking guard in the league. Next to him at center, Garrett Bradbury was the lowest graded center in pass blocking. And then at right guard, when Ezra Cleveland came in, he was the 5th lowest graded right guard. So all that booty, not good. No bueno. Speaking of no bueno, so Brandon Aiyuk unfortunately tore his ACL last year after signing that monster contract, and all the holdouts, all the drama, all the whatever, like the contract didn't make sense. Like Aiyuk is a really solid number 2, but he's getting tier 1 wide receiver 1 money. All right. Schefter, 49ers owe Brandon Aiyuk a $22.85 million bonus if he's on the roster Tuesday, April 1st. Once the 49ers pay that bonus, any trade talks for Aiyuk will be off, and he will be expected to spend the 2025 season in San Francisco. So Tuesday looms as Aiyuk's unofficial trade deadline, and no deal currently is expected by then. So this is what's frustrating, is that was a bad contract. That was a really bad contract, and now they have a decision to make. And it might be, I mean, John Lynch has really skated by. I mean, that Trey Lance trade-up was a disaster, but having Brock Purdy made up for it. And, the Debo contract was bad. The Brandon Aiyuk contract was even worse. And they had ample opportunities to trade him, but instead. So here's what Howie Roseman of the Eagles does well. He pays his guys early. And the cash flow is good in terms of rewarding the player, but also protecting the team and making sure the team isn't saddled with huge dead cap hits in subsequent years. And the Vikings do that as well to a degree where, again, you look at Jefferson, was the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history, earned that. But no muss, no fuss, like no drama, no social media sniping, nothing like that at all. And then you look at CeeDee Lamb, you look at Jamar Chase, you look at Aiyuk, obviously, you look at Tyreek, and T. Higgins to a degree. Like all those were drama filled, like long drawn out negotiations, especially with a CeeDee Lamb. I mean, the Cowboys are the worst at this because the longer negotiations go and are drawn out, the more feelings get hurt and the more you pay. That's what happened with Dak. That's what happened with CeeDee. That's what's going to happen with Micah Parsons if he stays. Dallas is a mess. They do it exactly the opposite of how they should be doing things, which doesn't surprise you with Dallas, with JEROME. But the Aiyuk contract is just ridiculous. And also on the graphic, you look at Debo, who eventually they flipped to the commies. Like those are 2 horrifically bad contracts, just not good. And again, it's something that the Vikings are good at. So they reward their guys. You look at Jefferson, you look at Darrisaw, but what's going to happen with Hawkinson? What's going to happen with Addison when he's eligible for an extension? So the Vikings have some decision to make because like Aiyuk is good, but is he, Tyreek, Amon-Ra St. Brown, AJ Brown good? No. Also, I feel like the DK Metcalf contract with the Steelers is bad as well, but yeah, it's a argument for another day. Here's a good argument. So the Vikings, once Darrisaw gets back, and maybe the Vikings freshen things up at left guard. Brandel's the incumbent, but maybe they draft a replacement. Maybe they bring in a free agent after the comp pick window closes. And overall, the Vikings, like once Darrisaw is healthy, ready to go, I think you can make a case that they have the best offensive line in the NFC North on paper on purpose. And before you go, oh, Lions. Well, yeah, Taylor Decker. Okay. Frank Ragnow, legit. Penei Sewell is elite, but they had a lot of sea change at guard. I mean, the veteran Graham Glasgow, whatever. Christian Mahogany, many leather-bound books, is no Kevin Zeitler. The Bears, went in and bought an offensive line. They got Braxton Jones. They got Wright at right tackle. Wright is solid. But Thuney, old, Dahlman can't pass block, and Jonah Jackson can't pass block. But, hey, at least all 3 of them are expensive. Cool. And then the Packers. The Packers could add in the draft, but they overpaid for Aaron Banks. Elton Jenkins is phenomenal, moving him back to center. Zach Tom is legit, but Sean Ryan, who I kind of look like, by the way, the Fu Manchu, is not the answer there. Also, hey, what about Jordan Morgan? What about the guy that you drafted in the first round instead of Cooper DeJean? Which fan base would love a white cornerback better than the Eagles? The Packers. Could you just imagine Cooper DeJean on a invalid fair catch punt return or a interception? Coop. Those jabronis would have loved it. It was tailor-made. the hell, man? And overall, like, yes, on paper, on purpose, the Vikings do have the best offensive line in the division. But we'll see. Just add Gray Zabel or Tyler Booker at the left guard spot. We'll be good to go, man. Speaking of good to go. So Kellen Mond took the field first time as a Brahma, which apparently is a type of steer, I guess. Only steers come from Texas. But so Kellen Mond in the San Antonio Brahmas, which they kind of look like the Gotham Rogues from Dark Knight Rises, which is pretty good. But Kellen Mond did not do well, and the Brahmas lost 33-9. Yeah. I don't know, like, I always have a soft spot for players that are supposed to be the chosen one. But then, I don't know, like, why is he starting? Did they see him practice like Zimmer did? I don't know. Lastly, so this is from Friday when honestly, if the Wolves got to play the Phoenix Suns every single round of the playoffs, the Wolves, the basketball Vikings would have like 17,000 Larry O'Brien trophies in a row. That's what happens, man. But I love that Justin Jefferson takes time to talk with the fans. It's good. It's really good. Anyways, that's it. Vikings news dump on this wonderful, glorious Sunday. Remember, April Draft Month fundraiser, all Venmos, Cash Apps, Super Chats, Twin Cities, and Seoul, South Korea adoption charities, which I got soul, but I'm not a soldier. Something like that. You guys know what to do. Skull, production value.